silenciously.
Alright, so now we are on to chapter 2 of React, and now we're going to be creating and using our components. Right, so to create our first component, we're going to go to our files. We have a new project now, chapter 2, and in our files, we are going to create in under source, we're going to create a new file, a JavaScript file. We're going to call it products.js, right? And then in our products.js, we are going to render a few things, right? So we first create a class called product, and it's going to extend our component again, right? And then inside of product, as you can see right here, we added a few things, right? So we have this constant here, which is products, and it's an array of strings, right? The first one is saying learning React, the second one is saying pro React, and the third one is saying beginning React. And then after that, we created another constant variable, which is a function basically, which is going to loop through this array here using the map method, right? And then for each element that we are looping through, we are going to create this HTML list, as you can see here, and then we're going to use this key, right? And we're going to take the product and we're going to convert it to a string, and then we are going to put it as our inner HTML, right? So that's what list product does. And then now we're going to use our return method once more. In our return method, we have this outer div also. We're going to have everything inside of this div, and what we have in this div is an unordered list, and then inside of this unordered list, we're going to put this here, the elements that we are looping through, and representing them as an HTML list, right? And then we are going to export our products. So we're going to move on to our app.js now. And our app.js, the first thing you can see is that after importing React and components, right, we are going to import products, right, from this file here that we just created, ./product, and we're going to create a class called app, just like we did in chapter 1. It's going to extend a component, and we are going to use the format name method, right? And we're going to pass it this parameter of user, and all that's going to do is return our user dot first name. It's just a concatenated string, right? It's going to show the user's first name, then it's going to be a space, and it's going to show the user's last name, and it's just going to wave, right? And then we're going to use our render method. So inside of our render method, just like we did in our product, we're going to create these variables, right? The first one is going to be user, and it's an object, and that object has a first name property, and it's just my name, and the last name property is my surname. And then we use the return method once again, and we are going to return this div. So with React, we always have to have these outer divs right here. You can't have two elements, you need to have one that basically sandwiches everything you want to return. So last time we had this h1 tag that said my first React app, but we're not going to be doing that this time. Now we're going to be greeting the user that we created here, right? And we're gonna do that using this h1 tag, right? And we're gonna say hello, and we're gonna say this dot format name. We're gonna call that method once more and pass it the variable of user, which is this object here, right? And I'm just gonna comment this out just to display the first thing that we just explained right now. And then you can see it's compiling, and after it's done compiling, we'll just go to the browser to see what that looks like after it's being rendered. So it's done compiling. We go to our browser. As you can see, it just says hello like in Gosi. And after that, what we can do is, since we are importing products, right, we can return products as part of this div. Just as a reminder, product is this unordered list here that's mapping through this array here. So it's these things represented as a list, an unordered list of items, right? And with React, what we are able to do is whatever components we have, we can represent them as as tags, basically like HTML tags. As you can see, we are returning products as part of this div. It's a child element of this div here, And as you can see, we have this list here: learning React, Pro React, beginning React, right? And that is it for chapter 2, I believe. So in summary, in chapter 2 we learned a lot. We were able to create our first component, and we created a products component that retrieves product data from an array, and we were later rendering that data onto the page, and we created ourselves in the process. So that's all for chapter 2. I was the driver, Bhabha was my navigator. Thank you very much. See you next time.